All right, guys, welcome to Take Your Base. I'm your host, Flavo Rihanna, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. All right, today is Monday, April 12th, 2021. And another day, another game without Mets baseball. So, if you guys have been sleeping under a rock, the Mets, they were supposed to start their season about 10 days ago, right? It was supposed to get against the Nationals. Didn't happen because due to the fact that I believe 6 players from the Nationals ended up testing positive for COVID-19. So that series got canceled. Their series, so the Mets season started last Monday, a week ago today, against the Philadelphia Phillies. DeGrom takes the mound, all right, against Matt Moore, and DeGrom does what DeGrom does. Dominates, pitches you into games. He tries to pitch deep. Make sure that he controls he's able to neutralize the opposing team's offense. Right, we'll get you a bunch of strikeouts. We'll put you in the game for the most part. And the Mets are winning. They were winning 2-0. All right. As soon as Luis Rojas pulled them out, Mets ended up losing the game. They ended up collapsing in the 8th inning. And it just ended up costing the Mets, their opening day game. Technically, Marcus Stroman pitched game 2, very stellar. And then game 3, that was pretty bad. What's it called? Peterson. Whew. That was one of the worst performances that I've seen from Peterson when he has been pitching. I thought he would have been giving you a lot better of a performance, but got dominated by the Phillies. Now, fast forward. Now we're gonna go into Thursday. This Thursday that had just passed. Taijuan Walker at the mound. All right, pitching against the Miami Marlins, and he looks so stellar. I know he was a part of the Marlins, I believe, last year. But wow, Taijuan Walker looked great. I mean, he had a phenomenal performance. All right. Plus, that day was Jeff McNeil's birthday. He hits a home run on his birthday. Happy late birthday to you, Jeff McNeil. Okay. Apparently, you share the same birthday as the kid himself, Gary Carter. And wow, I mean, but that wasn't even the highlight. All right, we weren't even talking about how stellar Taijuan Walker's performance was. We weren't even talking about Jeff McNeil hitting a home run to get the Mets closer to tying the game. No, was it tying the game or was it like a run below? I can't remember exactly. No, what we ended up talking about is the Mets had the bases loaded, 1 out. Michael Conforto at the plate, right? I believe it was like a 3-2 count, if I'm not mistaken. And mind you, if Conforto gets walked, game is over. Conforto, hits a single, game is over. If Conforto gets hit by a pitch, game is over. If he strikes out, there's 2 outs, and then that brings up Pete Alonso. So which one do you think ended up happening, for the Mets? Well, if you answered, Michael Conforto ended up striking out, I would have given you props just because of how poor Michael Conforto has looked throughout the season. But no. In technicality, he should have been struck. He should have received a strikeout because due to the fact that he ended up purposely leaning over the plate and having his elbow hit, his elbow out with his elbow pad, sticking out, getting hit by a pitch. But he got hit by a pitch, game was over, and the Mets win on a walk-off hit by pitch. All right, for their opening day, for their home opener for the 2021 season. Go figure, all right? Normally that type of stuff would happen against the Mets, but this time it happened in favor for us. The umpire ended up acknowledging after the game that he made a mistake, that it should have been considered as a strikeout. The fact that the ump was in a signal a strikeout, but ended up changing his mind, saying that, Conforto got hit, game is over. Marlins fans were pissed off, and I don't blame them. I would have been pissed off very well too. But Michael Conforto, needed a lucky break, And yeah, because the way that Michael Conforto has been playing. I gotta say, guys, Conforto, Lindor, all right, those two guys have been, letting us down as Met fans, all right. Conforto, I think I saw like a stat that said he ended up leaving by like 30 runners on base, right? This guy has been failing to drive in runs, right? You have him on the 3-hole, right? Why do you have Michael Conforto on the 3-hole if he cannot drive in any type of runs, right? Francisco Lindor in the 2-hole, okay? Lindor is not producing for you right now, and I understand you're gonna have him on the 2-hole because you're gonna have Brandon Nimmo, leading off. But Lindor, I don't know if he's facing some type of pressure that after he ended up signing that big contract, but he's got to get it together. He's got to get it together because of the fact that he no longer plays in the AL Central where he's able to have, like a hiccup and it can last him a couple of games. No, this is the NL East. This is the best division in baseball, all right? This is murderer's row, all right? There's no way that the Mets can afford, having a long stretch of bad games and expect to possibly make the playoffs. If this was the NL Central, the AL Central, sure, no problem. You can go through like a bad 10-game stretch, right? Doesn't mean that you're losing all 10 games, but you can play pretty bad for 10 games and then find a way of making it to the playoffs. In the NL East, you don't have any rooms for error whatsoever, all right? So by Michael Conforto leaving so many runners on base, right? Failing to drive in runs, failing to make contact, striking out. I don't know if it's the pressure of him declining from what it was reported, a $200 million contract. All right. I know he's seeking for more money. I know Scott Boras is his agent. So, of course, Scott Boras is going to try to encourage him to try to maximize his contract. I don't know if that's the issue, but he's been striking out way too much. All right. And for Luis Rojas to be making this many mistakes as a manager, all right, it's very simple. You got to put Conforto down in the 7th spot. I would actually raise Jeff McNeil into the 5 spot. The way I would have it is Nimmo number 1 is your leadoff. 2 Lindor. 3 I would put Dom Smith. Yes, Dom Smith as your 3-hole. 4 would be Pete Alonso. After that, then I would put McNeil. Then I would put McCann. Then Conforto, all right? And then after that, number 8, I would put like Luis Guillorme because J.D. Davis is going to be out. He's on the 10-day IL. So that's the way I would normally have it. But, Luis Rojas wants to do things differently. It's just not seeming to pan out. Last year wasn't that great of a season. This year he's going through a bad start going into the season. So what's going to be happening next? I mean, look, today's game got postponed. Yesterday's game got suspended because of inclement weather. Today's got postponed because of inclement weather. So what's going to happen? Tomorrow we're going to have, I believe they said that tomorrow should be Chase Anderson versus David Peterson, at Citizens Bank Ball. No, actually here in Citi Field. We'll see what happens. I mean, after what David Peterson ended up putting out in his last start, I don't know. I mean, his ERA right now is 13.50. I can't even fathom, in my opinion. I can't even fathom. So the Mets got to get it going. They got to make sure they got to be able to produce runs. And for the love of God, guys, can you guys please give Jacob deGrom some type of help? All right, give him some type of help. This Saturday he pitched phenomenal baseball. Right, he's tied his career high for most strikeouts in a single game. All right, for his personal career high. And this guy couldn't even get a run. He couldn't even get a run. I mean, he was doing it all himself. He ended up getting a single. He ended up driving in an RBI in his first start, of the season. That was in Citizens Bank Ballpark in Philadelphia. So this guy is trying to do it all. He's trying to carry the team. He's pitching you great, baseball. All right. The Marlins could not have hit him even if they wanted to. All right. They were swinging and missing. They couldn't, put the ball into contact. They couldn't put any fear into the Mets. All right. Just that freak, what's it called? Lucky home run back, I believe it was in the 4th inning in Saturday's game. That was the only run that Jacob deGrom had surrendered. Then Edwin Diaz ended up giving up 2 more runs in the 9th inning. You got to give, Jacob deGrom at least 3 to 4 runs 3 to 4 runs is not that hard to ask for, especially when Jacob deGrom is neutralizing the opposing offense. So moving on forward, the Mets, they're going to be having a series with the Phillies. They're going to have a series with Colorado, which they should be able to handle. Then they go to Chicago to go face the Cubs. And then their next homestand starts against Washington and for about 3 games, and then they face Boston for a rare 2-game series. So, all right, guys, Mets, you guys got to get it together. Conforto, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go down to the 7th spot. 7th or 8th spot, because you're not producing anything at the top of the lineup. And, you striking out, maybe you might need to take a couple days off, all right? The pressure may be applying so very hard on you. Maybe the fact that they ended up missing out on that opening game, that opening series against the Nationals really kind of messed with the guys. But wow, the Mets are in a bad situation right now at 2-3. It kind of feels like they're 1-4 or 0-5, but it could have gotten worse. But let's see what happens the remainder part of the year. Right, we still got a good 150 games left within the season, 155 games left within the season, to maximize all opportunity. It is still early April. Yes, it is still early April, but the Mets can improve as we go on further into the calendar year. Until then, guys, look, thank you for tuning in on Take Your Base. I'm your host, Flavo Rihanna, and please hit that like and subscribe button. And let me know, what do you think Luis Rojas should do with Michael Conforto? Should he have him bat, at the 3-hole? Should he have him bat number 7, as like I recommended? Or should he be, benched for a couple days? Should he be batting, 6th or 5th? Let me know what you guys think, all right? I want to have a conversation with you guys. I'm sure you guys want to give want to give your input, and I'm more than happy to converse with you guys. Until then, guys, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace, guys.